Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob Kaczynski. I'm a mental health counselor here at SUNY Maritime, and I work in student affairs. Today, I just want to tell you a little bit about counseling services, give you a brief overview of what we do and who we are and how we operate. And obviously, as the summer goes on, we'll have plenty of time to answer more questions and give more info and insight. But like I said, for today, I just want to give you a brief overview. So as I said, my name is Jacob Kaczynski. I am supervised by and work with Christine D'Amico, who is our Assistant Director of Counseling Services. And on our team, we also have Dr. Jeffrey Dyke, who is a psychologist, and Jenna San Diego will be joining us in the fall, and she's a social work graduate intern. So just a little bit about our services. We offer free and confidential mental health counseling to all students who are in need of support, or simply just a space to discuss some challenges and talk some things through with what they might be experiencing here at Maritime. So just a little bit more about that. So our sessions are offered throughout the day, available from early in the morning to later into the afternoon. And we're really happy to have some of that flexibility. I know particularly at Maritime, a lot of students have difficult and different schedules. So just to be able to meet at different times is something we are glad to be able to do. Also, currently, there is no minimum or maximum number of sessions you can have with counseling services. We're really happy about this. I think at a lot of college counseling centers, through no fault of their own, there are wait lists and sometimes session limits. But as of right now, for us, you can kind of set ongoing sessions. You can also just have one and anything in between. But like I said, that's something we're really happy about. And whatever the student is looking for, we can tend to meet that. I would also note, I think this is important, there is no concern too trivial or too severe for us to discuss and work with. So if you have a really pressing and immediate concern, that is something we can definitely seek to and work with and try and work through. And if it needs to go really in depth, it can. But also if things just feel like a little off and you just want to talk to someone and go from there, we can do that as well, and anything in between. So really there isn't much that this space inherently is not for. And then this is another point. If and as needed, we can also work with you to find and secure external services. So we like to do a lot of work in-house and we want to work with you in-house, but we understand sometimes you might need something externally. We have a lot of partnerships through SUNY, so that might be like meeting a psychiatrist and potentially looking into getting medication that we can work with you to get set up. Additionally, even if there's something not on our radar, we're always going to work with you to find that and just never leave you stranded. So we do a lot of counseling in-house and just like a lot of support in general. But if there's something you need, mental health or counseling related outside, we will work with you to help you find that. So confidentiality, as I said, our sessions are free and confidential. Confidential sessions means that the information discussed in the sessions is not shared unless there's a threat to the student or the safety of others. So just kind of a little bit more info and clarity on what that means. Some questions that come up are what breaks confidentiality. So if someone is a harm to themselves or someone else, or there is a minor, so someone under the age of 18 in danger, that is a situation where we would break confidentiality. Besides that, what we discuss is going to stay between us. Sometimes there might be areas where you're like, hey, I'm not sure if this would break confidentiality. You can always ask in theory beforehand, and we can clarify that up front, so that what we would have to break that confidentiality for. But as I said, almost all of what we discuss is going to just be between us, except for those specific instances. Another question might be, if we have an initial meeting, would that be confidential? And the short answer is yes. Once we're in the room and laid out the guidelines, that confidentiality starts. And I think a big thing is we do not want you to not come and see us because you're fearful that we might start discussing what we discuss elsewhere. So especially in that first session, we're happy to talk around and about what's going on and make sure you're clear about what counseling services offers and what confidentiality is, so that you can dive into it comfortably and knowing what would and wouldn't be shared. Will the regiment professors, coaches, administrators be privy to any information discussed during sessions? The answer to that is no. And I would go a step further that This might also be your space to discuss some of those people and things related to those people. This is a space that's also much more about that, much more than that, and can be for a lot of different things. And I would say, we want those people to do really well in how they support you, but we understand that might not always happen. So if you're having a problem with a class and you want to discuss that class and the professor a little bit, counseling is a great space to do that because it is going to be between us. How does this affect my Coast Guard license? The short answer to that is that it does not affect that. Whether it's me, Christine, or someone else you see on our team, that is, again, just between us, and that will not be related to your eventual Coast Guard license if you are in the regiment. And lastly, are we allowed to take medication? The short and general answer for that is, for mental health purposes, yes. The Coast Guard license has some medications that are allowed, some medications that are allowed with a waiver, and some may not be allowed. I will say, if you have any questions on that, we have your health forms, what you put. If you have any questions, please reach out to Christine, myself, or someone else on the team, or someone in health services, because we just want to make sure you're set up on that. Like I said, there are a number of medications for mental health purposes you can take, but we just want to make sure you are in the know and comfortable and confident in what you're taking. So hot topics. These are just some general topics that might come up or might be part of the reason why you reach out to speak to us. So depression, anxiety, homesickness, family, adjusting to college, roommate conflicts, relationship issues, academic stress, college, regimental pressure, drugs and alcohol. I would also say, if you are in the regiment and you do go away for a large portion of time in the summer, that can obviously be something that hangs over a lot of different dynamics. But this list is not meant to be all encompassing, in the slightest. And I'd say, really, just if you're not feeling okay, or things aren't feeling quite right, or how you want them to be, that's enough of a reason to talk to us and follow that hunch and try and work through it. Sorry. And yeah, lastly, how do I make an appointment? So sessions are available by both walk-in and appointment. Our walk-in in our office location is in Bayless Hall in the first floor in the Student Affairs Suite. You can also email us to request an appointment at counselingservices@sunymaritime.edu. So I'd say something we're also really happy about and proud of is we can normally take walk-in appointments. So I know sometimes when you want to speak to someone and it's just top of mind and you want to do it then and there. So you can always try coming in, and if we're available, we will meet you. If we happen to be busy, at the very least, we'll try and chat with you and set something up for soon. But I would say overall, and again, this is something we're happy about, is you'll normally be able to schedule a meeting and see a counselor the same week you reach out to us. So if you reach out on email on Monday, usually by Tuesday, we should get back to you, and potentially even by Wednesday or Tuesday, we'd be able to see you. So although walk-ins are available, and if that's what works for you and we're able to do, that's great. But I would say either way, you should not be waiting too long from the point you decide you want a session. And also ongoing meetings are available. So we can meet with students on a continuous basis. That's something you can set up down the road. You're like, hey, it's beginning of semester. Can we meet throughout the semester? And we'll set those up. If you're kind of looking to feel it out more, you can schedule week by week. But you can also just have one session and be like, hey, I'm good. That was helpful. And I'll go from there. I would say a really important note is, if you ever stop meeting with one of us for some reason, and decide you want to meet again, you can always circle back. So please don't feel like that decision is final. Like I said, we're pretty fluid and flexible, at least to the degree we can be. So please just reach out and we can always figure out what's going to work for you. So yeah, that is our overview for today. Like I said, we'll definitely be able to answer questions on an ongoing basis, and especially when the fall semester starts and we hit the ground running, we will be there and available. But I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to meeting many of you and working with some of you going forward.